is today's actual host, Amrish Mavir. Say hello. And Mr. Henrik Udd in from Sweden.
Hey guys.
So I'm not going to actually be able to stick around. I'm going to have to jet out, but I'm leaving you guys in very capable hands. Just want to remind you guys how to ask questions. Make sure that you put a bracket Q, like I'm writing into the chat right now. How to question. Because we'd like to get to all your questions, but we need to be able to see your questions. That's how we'll be able to notice that there's one there. There's no need to re-ask your questions a million times. Just put it in once and have fun. So, you guys good?
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
Awesome.
we're good.
All right, I'll see you guys later. Have fun.
Have fun.
Take it easy.
Cool. All right. It looks
Yeah,
like I'm. It's picture in picture right now, which I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to be.
it's all right.
You are in control, and it's all good.
I am in control, and thanks. That's the best.
And it's all good. So good.
Um. Uh. Is everyone seeing me? Picture on side.
Yeah, you're fine.
Cool. All right. Sick. Let's get those questions piled
Is
in.
that God talking to us?
Up. Up. Up.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm watching over you. So
All
don't do
right. Let me
anything
wait for
weird.
these to pile in. How's your day going?
I'm watching
We got Father AL here.
over you.
I see you guys typing. Uh, am I muted?
I'm just popping in here again to say that you guys are being super lame with your questions.
Yeah.
As in, no one's asked anything yet.
Yeah.
I have a
If you want,
feeling. Oh, here we
any,
go.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. I was
okay.
gonna say maybe they already learned everything there is to know about mixing. Have no questions to ask.
Zero.
Yeah, we got a bunch of
Okay.
fucking ninjas here.
Real
All right, there we
experts of
go.
their
I'll
field.
see you guys.
All right.
All right, see you guys later.
All right. We got
See you.
Sean Frost here. He says, "Hey Henrik, I wanted to ask you what synths you used for your track. I really like the sound of a lot of synth pads. Of a lot of the
Uh,
synth pads.
yeah. I'm not 100% sure really, because Dan and Tom made them in the pre-production stage. So it was already done in the demo stage, and it's probably just some bread and butter stuff from Logic, if I if I would have guessed. So not sure what
Sick.
it is.
All
Yeah.
right. So we got Sean here next. What what is your shittiest piece of gear that you just can't give up?
Um, the metal zone, I guess. You
Really?
can't throw it away, but you have to keep it.
I definitely understand. Let's see. Santiago Romero is asking, why did you choose to quad track guitars? Do you usually do that?
Yeah, if we have a lot of time, like more than four weeks, or sometimes 4 weeks is enough. We try to quad track the guitars, and just sounds meatier and fatter to me. You get a little bit of chorus effect, but the end result is like bigger, I think. If it's not too technical and fast parts, I prefer to quad track the guitars.
Is it a matter of the sound becoming like too thick and too fat with the technical things that make it like kind of like weird to do when it's not quad like tracked?
Sorry, what's that?
So like when you do you ever decide to do the two track instead of a quad track just because of just like the fatness? Like maybe it makes the guitar tone a little too fat.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a nightmare to keep it in tune and everything.
Hmm.
Um, and if it's fast and really technical, there's like you get so much work if you quad track it. So then I try to keep it with two guitars.
Yeah,
But for
makes
like meaty stuff like that, it's better. Like it's the same with the like doubling a vocal track. I suppose like you do that to get some more depth and yeah.
awesome. We got a question here from Anthony Potenza on Lost Forever, Lost Together. There weren't as much ambient sounding stuff as All Our Gods. Do you know if they were synths on the background ambient sounds or if those were the guitars through the reverb pedal again?
I'm not sure that we had the big sky, the Strymon pedals when we did Lost Forever. I think we maybe used the Holy Grail pedal and some other stuff. Um, but we went more nuts on this one for the ambient stuff.
Awesome. Robin Lejeune. Uh, hey,
But yeah, to answer the
eh,
question, there is still a lot of guitars, more than synths, I guess, on that album.
eh, cool. Uh, Robin's asking, hey, what would be a normal plug-in change for you regarding mixing kick drum in a band like Architects?
Um, sorry, can you repeat that?
Sure, I'm sorry if I'm like reading like a little awkwardly. I'm like trying to read like the small white text of the screen, and like it makes me feel like I'm going blind as I'm doing it. Um, what would be a normal plug-in chain for you in regards of mixing a kick drum for a band like Architects?
Um, it would be like when we record the drums, we use plugins like EQ and a gate, and that's basically it for the tone shaping. Uh, and then I just EQ it a bit and compress it, and then trigger, put some samples on it, and yeah, EQ and compression. That's it.
So, so you hear that, everyone? It's just that. That's how you do it. A lot of people were having problems with the low end this month in the group. They were talking about like kind of being able to what is it, balance it all and make it sound like it's all there while using all the stuff that you gave them.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were trying to make that work, but of course, it's always a joy to hear that someone professional, using the trigger stuff that we all use. So it's like that thing where it's just like, yeah, we can do this too. So it's always
Yeah.
great to hear. Um, Adam here is saying from the videos online, it looks like you're using an advanced audio microphone CM47 on vocals. If so, what made you choose that mic over, say, a real U47?
It's like when we did a Lost Forever album, we got a lot of advanced audio mics to try out. And we did like a blind test of like Sam did a lot of takes on every mic, and then we con came to the conclusion that advanced audio sounded really good on his voice, the CM47. So, and we got some problem with a Neumann U67 that we had. It started to like hum and stuff, and but it didn't sound as good on him as the CM47. So we took what was best, of course.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, Ted Schusterman. I'm nowhere near as good as AL when it comes to pronouncing voices. So if you guys are prepared to have someone butcher your names, I'm here for you. Hi, I'm using Cubase Elements 9, which has a maximum track count of 48. What are some techniques to work around this? I'm aware of processing instrument groups separately, then bouncing down and re-importing, but I haven't gotten the hang of it yet. What would be some tracks in the song you might leave out to reduce the track count? Thanks.
Uh, I guess the only track I didn't use was the BD U67 on this song, but uh, I never had that problem, or at least not in 10 years or more, because using Pro Tools HGX, so maybe someone else is better to give him some tips about what to do. I know, like, I don't like to freeze tracks and stuff like that because it takes away from the workflow, I think, and you have to
Mhm.
I'm
unfreeze it.
jumping in from the sky
Oh, it's
to give this guy an answer. um, Ted, get a better DAW. All right, see you guys later.
yeah. Why don't you get Reaper instead, or
No, yeah, exactly. Like, it's not even that you have to get something more expensive. If you get Reaper, at least you'll have the more tracks, and it's not like it costs a lot of money. Get something that you can actually work with, and if you're not willing to do that, then at least start working on lots of premixes, and bouncing things down. But like Henrik just said, he pretty much used every single thing that he gave you guys, so you're gonna have to figure out how to work around that. But just get a different DAW, man. All right, bye.
yeah.
So that was God, and clearly he doesn't like Cubase elements. So, all right, let's see. A question here from Robin. What is your favorite drum reverb for simulating a room sound?
Um, it's um, it's two of them. It's Relab 480 Lexicon clone thing that they have, which is really good. And then I also use the Lexicon. It's a PCM bundle or something it's called. So I use like three different reverbs on the drums, and then some more for the rest of the stuff. But
And that's
I like that.
it's a lot of thought in just how something bounces back and forth. It's super interesting when you hear how some people just do it in like the most simplistic of ways, and then you hear someone has like a room that they reamp in like 1,000 times, doing
Oh
different
yeah.
things and mix it all together. Let's see here. Next question. Hey Henrik, what do you think is the reason for a fact that Sweden is so successful regarding music, apart from some huge bands in mainstream and alternative scene? There are so many amazing producers.
Uh, I just read something that people wrote here before on your RM thing, but I think it's because we had a music school for like 30 years now. Like it's free to take lessons in guitars and whatever you want to play, and like they really encourage you to play stuff, and like culture and art and stuff is really appreciated here. Like and I guess it's fucking freezing too in the winter. So
uh,
we have to stay inside and play guitar. And
I've
then
come back.
you realize you suck at guitar, and then you have to do this shit.
So, how young were you when you started music?
Uh, I was like before the flute that we have to mandatory do. I was like 9 years old or something, maybe younger, 8 when I got my drum kit, and then I wanted to play guitar after that. Changed it up.
So, I actually have a question that I wanted to ask. I totally forgot, but it's come up in the forum, and it surprised a few people. Um, so, I think that we should talk about it because I've never encountered this before. Well, actually, I have, but not at this level. So, you don't like using room mics in your room. Um, Could you talk a little bit about that? Like why, like because I know that some guys were like, why don't you just experiment more? And it's like, I'm sure that Henrik's experimented enough and has come to the conclusion that there's nothing worth doing there. But I was wondering if you could elaborate a little bit on why you don't use room mics there and how you decided to get around it, and if you even like room mics in the first place on metal
Yeah,
makers.
exactly. For me, like a lot of the times, even when I get room mics, I just turn them off or keep them really low. So, uh, and this room is like in the studio here is doesn't give me a good room at all. Just it sounds kind of exactly like the drum kit does from the overhead, but lower in volume and like just delayed. So I get the problem from trying to combine it because it's no good room reflections. It's like really dry and a bit hard sounding. So, but if there is a really good room, I like it. Uh,
Well, I think it just goes to show that you don't have to use something just because other people use it. If it's better to use no room than a bad room.
yeah, exactly. I mean, when we moved here to this studio in 2008, of course I put up room mics in every different way there is, but always just ended up without them. So yeah.
It happens. I've watched a lot of great metal mixers mix, and I'd say that more than half of them just delete the room mics. Um,
Yeah, I mean, if you do like Dimmy Borgir or something like that, you're gonna trash them really quick if you have rooms. It doesn't.
just
There's so
too much
much to
stuff.
fit in the songs. And, yeah,
Makes sense. All right, I will leave you guys be.
it's grov. I'm just answering a question here. The snooze is grov portion.
Let's see here.
That's
Next question.
Roar Nudal.
Oh, here we go. Hey, Henrik, do you reference other material while mixing? And if so, what tracks are you referencing?
Not while I'm mixing. Uh, Try to stay away from that. Of course, after a couple of runs on the mix, I put it in, and I usually try to like master it pretty soon to like push the limiter and more compressors and stuff. And then I reference like in the mastering. I always reference against like uh, Nickelback, for
Ha!
example, and like and also stuff that I've done myself, and have a weird reference track, but some Lamb of God, there's some Killswitch Engage in there, and a little bit of everything.
That's cool, man. So, usually, with your mixing, do you do mastering while you're mixing? Like, do you mix into your master?
Most of the time, I don't do that, so I
Gotcha.
bounce out the mix and put it in a new session. But sometimes when you realize, okay, it sounds good with mastering, just put it on and export it out. Um, but usually I like to like tweak afterwards, like more.
Absolutely. I'm really bad with that. Let's see here, Jake Barnes. I'd love to know more about the sick guitar tone you got on the Architects track. It's awesome. And what was used?
For a pair of the guitars, it's the EVH amp together with a 5150. So I go from the EVH preamp out to the FX return on the 5150. And then the EVH goes to an Engel cab and the 5150 to like a Marshall cab. And I put two mics on every cab. Then I combine them to one track in this case. And then the other pair of guitars were diesel amp with a Mesa Boogie. And yeah, I think we used one on those guitars. There was a Mesa cab too, but the Engel as the main cab that we used.
Sick. All right, here. Let's see. Santiago Romero. Are the vocal tracks we received raw? If no, then what did you use while tracking?
Except the mic, the Advanced Audio CM47 went into a SSL super analog channel. It's called the channel strip.
Mhm.
And then a bit of compression, like maybe 10 dB max, some fast attack. Tiny bit of lift in the top end, and then from there it went into DBX de-esser just to take away some sharpness in the S's, and that's it. It's the whole line.
Awesome. Let's see here. Someone asked, what snus do you use? I'm assuming you answered that a second ago when you pulled up the can. Let's see.
Yeah.
I can't.
Snooze question.
Oh, Al's here.
Yeah, I have a snooze question. Is that the kind that you chew or the kind that you snort?
Neither. It's the one you put under your lip and leave it there.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I see.
Then you spit it out. Then you take another one.
So it's dip.
So it's
What we call dip.
It's the camera. There we go.
Okay. What's the kind that you snort called?
Snuff, I think.
Snuff. Okay.
It's not.
Are you guys aware that this exists?
No, man. I'm like flabbergasted. After this, I'm definitely gonna Google it.
Oh, it definitely exists.
I didn't know people smoke through their nostrils.
Oh yeah.
Like
Definitely
I also
made some albums go quicker.
To bake, but that's it gets a bit too heavy when you do it all day.
So don't do it. You can't do it all day then.
Yeah, you can, but I get fucking tired. Now I'm old, 37 years old, so last 5 years I exhaust me. That snooze. So.
All right, I'm out.
All right, David Fuller asks, when you were recording the drums, did you process on the way in at all, or do you generally prefer dry recording?
It's like I said before, it's very dry recording.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, usually take the snare drum into the SSL channel too, and maybe I just boost a little bit on the top end there too, but I try to keep it as dry as I can, and then it's easier for me to gate it and like process it afterwards.
Are we losing someone here? Looks like Henrik's having a little bit of a loading issue. Let's just give him a second.
He'll be back.
If not, I'll just ask Al your questions, and he can answer from above. Oh, there you go.
Oh, there he is.
I'm back. Am I back? Yeah, I'm back.
Cool. All right, so let's jump into the next question here, which is, what's the best Swedish band, ABBA or Europe? Oh man.
Ooh, it's hard. I mean, I listened more to Europe as a kid, but ABBA is probably the better one.
Top notch.
Yeah. I do remember when I got the Europe LP record, and there was a song called Ninja on it. And here in Sweden then, it was like a moral panic about ninjas. in the 80s. So my mom said like, yeah, maybe it's good if you don't listen to that song Ninja, but I did.
Hardcore. Let's see here. Are the Architect's guitars reamped after the fact, or is there a tone you dialed in during tracking?
Huh? Well, I'm trying to find the question at the same time as you read it, but
Oh, sure. It's Ian Benetta. Are the Architect's guitars reamped after the fact, or is it the tone you dialed in during tracking?
it's the tone I dialed in during the tracking. It's only one part that I reamped like 3 or 4 times. Uh, couldn't get it to sound the same when I reamped it as,
Hmm.
but I realized now when I got a little bit more expensive reamp box that I got better low end in this new one than the other radials that I got. So that's probably why. So I had to like EQ it and on the line signal and try to get it to sound the same. But the rest is original guitars.
Mm. Yeah, let's see here. Clifton Miles. Man, every time I like go further and further down this thing to read, the more I realize that I'm like almost dyslexic. Clifton Miles, when you were working with At the Gates, did you feel a different type of pressure or energy when working on that album because of their stature in the history of metal and having been on hiatus for so many years? Uh, and was there anything special or different you did on that record that stands out to you about the recording process?
Um, yeah, of course, I felt some pressure, but at the same time, I wasn't there when Fred did Slaughter of the Soul, so I could put the more pressure on Frederick because we cooperated on that album. Um, but basically, I'm just a bit sad that I didn't mix the At the Gates album. Jens Fogren did a good job, but I think it's could have been like a bit more aggressive for my taste.
Um, Robin Lejeune is asking again, how is it to work with BMTH? And what was the easiest part in the recording stage? Drums, guitars, bass, or vocals?
Uh, guitars was super easy to do with Lee. He's a monster guitar player. Like on the Suicide Season album, I think it's basically 2 takes, the whole song. Like maybe he fucked up somewhere and then went back and redid it.
Oh, wow.
Um, but at the same time, it's not really super technical, but he's good at rhythm guitars. But I love working with the MTH. It's they were really young when they first came in and like so creative and stuff. Had a lot of ideas, and you could see back then that it's going to be huge in a way. But I didn't know it was going to be this big. But they changed, and then they changed again, and yeah, but fun band to work with. Ollie has a lot of ideas too, and like challenge you as a engineer and mixer and everything, like coming up with stuff that he wants you to try.
Sick. Let's see here. Charlie of Bend. What was the thought process behind the two different bass tracks? Was this for the efficiency of changing the bass tone from section to section, or was it a change to a different bass guitar?
I think it's the same. It's the same bass guitar. It's just in the mix. I cut it to put that softer part on a new track to process it a bit differently. And when I consolidated the bass, it's stayed like that. But it's just me cutting it to a different track in the mix.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Roar, rar. I don't want. I'm already butchered that. Someone told me Architects used a Fender Stratocaster and a Vox AC amp for the clean and lead guitars. Can you confirm this?
Yeah, we used that sometimes. Like it's Frederick's old AC30. It's about to fall apart, and it smells like it's gonna burn every time you put it on. But it sounds really good. So we used it sometimes, and then different times just going through the clean channel of the EVH, and it was just whatever was connected and like sounded good for that thing. So we had different setups, so we could switch between stuff.
So it was more specifically for like what you exactly you were taking versus like a taste and then like doing it through that.
Okay. What?
It was more geared towards the actual individual part the person was playing at that time versus like just
Yeah.
like choosing a cool tone and being like, all right, sick, we're sticking with this.
No, I mean I used the AC 130 uh, on many records, and like the tremolo channel sounds so good. It sounds like Kill Bill, instant Kill Bill intro,
Hmm.
and then like so that's the one I prefer to do some clean soft parts for. But I think the most part of the ambient tracks is through the EVH amp on this song.
Kink here. Let's see
Maybe
where
the
we're.
one guitar is called lead guitar in the track. The lead clean guitars is through the AC. Really wish you could remember everything you do
Absolutely.
while working.
Dude, I don't even remember the first question I asked you, so it's like for you to like pull this out of your head is
I don't even remember my name sometimes.
Scott.
thanks, Al. With the
Welcome. I'm just here to fuck up your stream.
sick. Let's see here. Santiago Romero asks, "Did you edit the guitars very tight on the album?"
No, it's pretty loose. I mean, he played most bits, and I just shifted some bits sometimes. But I mean, if you edit all those guitars, the four guitars really tight, you can end up like getting phase problems if the transient is coming at the same time all the time.
Mhm.
So so no, it's not too much edits done on it. A
Let's see
tiny bit.
here. 10. Uh, Jake Ottinger. Wow, I'm sorry, man. Your production sounds very unique. Who are your influences?
Thanks, man. Um, I don't know. I don't really have that many influences. I mean, I like albums that people have done and stuff, but it's like if I try to sound like that, I fail hard. Like I can't do it. So just trying to mix it like I mix it, and that's it. But
It's about just making you feel good at the end as you're doing it.
yeah, exactly. I'm looking for a certain feeling. Like usually it's when I know I nailed it, I stand up, take another snooze, and I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. So it's a bit of a roller coaster. Right now, I'm talking about mixing stuff. Like 1 minute you think you fucking sucks, and then next one you're like, yeah, fuck yeah, this is good. It's
I personally know I have those moments with kicks and snares when I get them. Did we lose you again?
now then.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Sorry, almost lost you. Let's see here. Richard Atura. Hey, Henrik. How in the name of Odin, funny, you make the low end so big and tight and just perfect. It is the most difficult part for me.
Uh, Thanks, man. Um, just used some C4 and like took an EQ, raised the bass on stuff, and I don't know. It's just trying to make it big, and yeah.
I think that's just to say like what a trained ear is for.
Yeah, exactly. There's like I can see on the reading a little bit on the forums sometimes that like everyone has a lot of tips and tricks for every situation there is, and like for this you need to do this, and you have to split this into this, and like I think it has to be more rock and roll sometimes, and just use the fucking ears that you got, and like listen. Does it sound shit? Yeah, and it's shit. Try to make it better.
It's quality reassurance right there through yourself. That's the way you gotta do it. Let's see here. Sean
But
Frost.
at the same time, it's awesome to have a lot of tricks up your sleeves and be able to use stuff when you have problems and stuff. But just try to
Do you
listen.
do you find yourself not really going for a trick until maybe after your ears are you're not getting exactly what you're looking for?
Uh, yes, yeah, of course, I don't get what I'm looking for all the times, and sometimes you get stuck and bang your head until you find something that could help you, and yeah, then maybe it's good with some tricks.
Let's see here. Next question would be, how do you usually approach blending synths and effects with main instruments? Do you decide on some kind of compromise regarding frequency when you have so many synth ambient tracks?
Try to make them fit, like cut some bass from them, because the guitars have enough low end, and I try to mix them into the track. I wouldn't say I have a special technique for it. Just put up the volume until it sounds right, and maybe use some reverb. Yeah, I mean it's harder if you have a like a symphonic orchestra or something. Like then it could be good to like really with a like a multi-band compressor tighten the bass and lift a lot of the top end, like more than you would think would be good in the to get them cut through in the songs. That's a bit difficult.
And I think that's just kind of like something to say towards the idea that it's really just how you go about it versus like having some type of like magic golden bullet.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Uh, Johan here is asking, what did you use for bass? Is it just DI or did you reamp it?
It's just DI on this one. Um, so it's the Dingwall bass on this particular track, and then it's into a BBE line box, old one, and into the SSL channel again, and then through Samsamp and some other stuff. It's not reamped. Yeah, I mean, I do like to record a good bass amp if the bass player brings one, but sometimes you end up blending them in with a DI, and sometimes just mute.
Let's see here. Liam's asking, on the final chorus on Gone with the Wind, the guitars are strumming chords which are ungodly clear for the low tuning. Did you record the bass note of those chords separately or lay it over the top? Or what's the secret to getting those chords to sound so clear? That's a lot of questions.
Um, no, I don't think we didn't record them separately. It's I mean they have like a special tuning, the guys in the band. So it's F sharp, and then it's the rest is pretty much standard C, like a drop C tuning. So and that helps for getting the clearness of it. I mean, I think the DI signal sounds amazing when I listened to it preparing the tracks for you. It's like really, really clear and good guitar, good everything.
Yeah, I was in love with the tones when I heard it for the first time. Let's see here. Robin Lejeune is asking, when you sample or replace or reinforce drums, do you use personal samples mainly, or do you prefer samples made during the recording session to keep the sound consistent?
I say that most of the time I use like samples that other people have done, and
Did I lose you?
no, I'm still here. Hey, can you hear me? It's delayed. You hear me now?
Hello. Yeah. Could you just repeat your the beginning of the answer? I think we
Yeah,
missed that.
it's a little bit of both. Sometimes, I guess most of the time I use some
Yes.
samples that I collected during the years, and like some band come in with already done samples. Like, fuck, this is good. Take that and use it, and sometimes I always do drum samples of the drum kit when I record the drums too. So it's good for later on, and if there's something that needs to be replaced or something.
Gotcha. Okay. So Lucas, you just asked a question, but he literally just answered that, so I'm skipping you, buddy. So don't get angry. Uh,
This is very angry. And he's not gonna take that for an answer. All right, I'm out.
shit. Where was I? Um, here we go. Anthony Potenza is asking, how long would you say it took you guys to find the right guitar tones to track with? Was it a long process?
Maybe an hour or 1.5 something. I think it was pretty fast. Uh, well, it takes a little bit longer to set up, like, 'cause we set up the two different guitar types at the same time. So, but maybe 2 hours, something like that.
Awesome. Here, let's see here. Oh, this is a good question. What are your some of your favorite albums growing up?
What's my favorite album?
What was some of your favorite albums growing up?
Uh, Everything with Guns N' Roses and Final Countdown album, Michael Jackson, Bad, and stuff like that. I was like listening so much to Guns N' Roses and some Metallica, or at least you had to listen to Metallica too. But, I like the Black album. And, yeah.
Let's see. Clifton, here you go. Clifton Miles. When you were growing in your career of mixing, how did you overcome obstacles where you felt stuck at certain points, not being able to make mixes sound as big or polished as you want? Did you seek advice from other pros, or did you just experiment until you arrived at a place that felt good for you?
Yeah, I think experimented till as many people to ask and stuff. And the Sneak forum came along after a bit, but of course I had Frederick as he's been my boss like for a long time, so of course you could ask him stuff. But yeah,
I almost feel like in 2017 we're spoiled by how much input we can get when we do something nowadays.
sorry, what's that?
I was just saying in 2017 it's almost we're spoiled kind of
Yeah,
now
yeah,
with the amount of people that I can send it to like 100 people and have them all tell me X, Y, and Z about what's wrong with my like 250 hertz range.
exactly. It's amazing, like how you can have mix crits like that instantly.
Let's see here. Do you monitor in mono when mixing?
Almost never. I wish I would say yes, because it's great to set levels and balance up stuff, volumes. Uh, but no, I don't. If I would do it, I would do it through one speaker rather than two speakers. Like turn the one off. And, so it's something that I like, but I'm too lazy to do.
Let's see here. Lucas Phillips is asking, for guitars, what type of compressor do you use? Do you like the 1176 or DBX, etc., etc.?
Um, I think the only compressor I use is the Wave C4 on the guitars, and I guess the Lo-Fi plugin, Pro Tools Lo-Fi plugin, compresses it a little bit too, but in a different way. Uh, but like now, I tried something today as well that I saw Robin Leon
Hmm.
talked about before, using the uh, Drumforge exciter thing.
Hmm.
Put a little bit of bite on the guitar that way. That worked really well, I think. So
Yeah.
that was a good tips uh, I got. But it's just a Wave C4 basically,
Hmm.
compressing it.
You just made all their minds melt a little bit by just saying that. Oh, Lucas says he's happy now. That's great. Sorry, I skipped your question earlier. Let's see here. Um, Charlie Abend is asking, I find your mixes have a saturation and color to them that's rather unique. Is it hard to tell while listening if this is due to specific things you're doing or just due to how you process things? Is it intentional or does it happen naturally when you mix?
Uh, I think it happens naturally, because I don't put on a lot of stuff that makes it like that. It's just could be a little bit of that Focusrite, the old Focusrite EQ that makes stuff sounds distorted too. Uh, but it just gets distorted a little bit, saturated from my mix chain, I guess.
Let's see here. Here we go. Daniel Clavin's asking, how much sub-frequencies do you leave on bass guitar when putting kick below the bass?
I think I just cut a little bit to like at 40 hertz or something on the bass guitar, um, the high pass filter, and it's different every time, but something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's pretty hard to just like recall out of like nothingness. Uh,
I can
let's
have a
see.
look here if I can. Uh, 34.5 hertz on this song,
Awesome.
and and then I cut one more time at 42 hertz. So I had two EQs on it.
Edgy.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Richard Atura is asking, do you use any kind of tape emulation, and what are your opinion about those kind of plugins?
Sometimes I like it, and sometimes I don't. Like, I don't use them too much. Sometimes use something called Heat, which is inside Pro Tools, like in the mixer. But on the Architects albums, I haven't used that, and it's like you try a tape machine and it's like, it sounds so good, and then turn it off and maybe it's better. Leave it off. I mean, sometimes it smears and I'm pretty bad with that anyway without the tape machine. It's like I don't have the sharpest transients in the world. It's too much fatness for that, so it just makes it worse for me.
Let's see. Jesper is asking, I sometimes have problems with snare samples and really fast blast beats because of those super heavy and powerful snare samples that sound awesome on slower parts, might be muddy in the mix on fast parts. Any tips on that? Do you perhaps do some type of automation on the fast parts for the drums?
Um, yeah, yeah, I do. Not for the Architects because I don't think there's that fast parts for it. I mean, maybe on the blast beat on the last song. Stuff you could do is like if you're using Steven Slate's trigger plugin, you can adjust the release time of the sample, like make it shorter and more snappier.
Mhm.
And a good thing is to remove some reverb too, to get it shorter. And sometimes you have to automate cut some more with the EQ or make it sharper. Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. Robin's asking, very important question, dong or no dong? I don't know if you know about the plugin, but
No.
it's
What plugin is that?
the dong plugin. It's the dong plugin. I don't even know how to like use words. Um, I would say it does to sound what the name exactly implicitly states. Let's see here. There we go. David Fuller's asking, do you use outboard gear when mixing at all, or do you do entirely in the box?
I'm entirely in the box all the time. Um, so except except now then when I bought this dangerous D-box thing. So I've been trying to sum a little bit, some like 8 channels into that, but that's it. And sometimes I prefer the in the box version, and sometimes the out the box version sounds a little bit wider and stuff like that. But at the same time, it loses something, the sharpness.
Hmm.
So it depends on what music it is, if it fits in it.
Makes total sense.
Cowbell or more cowbell, I would say.
Is there ever too much? Uh, Travis is asking, did you end up creating a drum room on Gone with the Wind? Yeah, we talked about that earlier, so I'm going to skip that one. You mentioned that in the beginning. So Travis, when you watch this again, catch the beginning of it. Talks about that in detail. Um, I'm assuming you didn't watch from the beginning, and if you did and you didn't catch that, you need to start paying attention. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You know, it's your time. Let's see. Devin Hughes here is asking, what speakers are in your Engel and Marshall cabs?
I don't really know. They call it vintage 60, right, in the angle, just to be important. But it's because at the start of the year I moved out from Studio Fredman and started my own business, and then I wanted to buy that amazing angle cab. I couldn't find it, and I can't even find what it's called. So some special artist model, I think. But the one I bought is good enough. And in the Marshall, I think it's some greenbacks, vintage 30. I'm not really a freak for the gear. I like plugins and good stuff, but it's like half of the time the drummer comes in with a drum kit and it's like I record it and then it's like what was the drum kit? Fucking no idea. Don't know. So
Uh, do you like to deal with a lot of the artist equipment that they have when you're doing stuff versus like using your own stuff right away?
um, I mean for guitar amps I know what the stuff that I got will sound like and what it will bring me, but I'm happy to try other stuff if they bring in some good stuff. It's always fun. Like
Yeah.
that's something that we used when architects brought in the diesel and the Mesa Boogie amps and cabs. So we used that for. I didn't like it as much as
Hmm.
the EDH and the 5150 though, but it mixes well in the end. It's better guitar sound on Lost Forever, where I only used my stuff.
That's okay. Where am I? Come on, dyslexia. Here we go. Uh, I try to read it to myself before I say it out loud because there's been a few times where as I'm reading it to myself, I'm like reading it backwards. Robin Lejean's asking again, what would be your go-to samples if you were to choose any commercial samples out there? Slate, Room Sounds, Tune Track, etc.
Um, well, I never really use any snare drums and stuff from Slate because they sound too much like a SM57 with a thing like that. But I do use like one or two kick drum samples sometimes, and Toon Track has some good stuff too. Um, it's more like because I try to blend the acoustic sound that I record, I guess. Did you get that? Or did I disappear?
The last word I heard was acoustic sound.
Yeah, I try to blend it, and then like I try to look for something more unreal in the. It doesn't sound like a snare drum because I already have the acoustic snare drum, and just maybe want to make it longer. Something that could use a sample that has some stuff in it.
This is an important question here. Any beers you would recommend?
The elk beers from Sweden, it's 7.2%. It's um, it's really good if you want to get started like quick. Three of them, and then you're good to go out.
Oh man, I'm bad with beer, so one of them and I'd probably be out of it and screaming at people. Uh, oh man, I don't even know what that is. Okay, so we're being asked, what is the best Kopparberg flavor?
I think it's the one with mixed berries. I think I don't know if it's what it's called really. It's good.
We're answering the tough ones at the end. Um, let's see. Robin's asking again, have you ever tried to use room sample prints from something like a tune track expansion instead of using a drum reverb?
Yeah, I mean, I've done that in mixes that I've got delivered to me, and where they already made it, uh, room samples, and I think I've done it myself on a couple of albums. Just print out some room samples, but most of the times I don't really do that. So I'm using some samples and then reverb. Uh,
Awesome. That looks like the last of our questions here, and we're. Oh no, wait. Got one more here. One more. All right, last question from Jake Ottinger. Ottinger. I'm sorry, man. Uh, do you always use mics or do you use MIDI at all?
for the drums, you mean, or
That is the even better question. So Jake,
I
we're
guess.
gonna let you respond to that. He says yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um, well, sometimes I've used MIDI, like put on the kick drum, but it's very rare. But it's something that I have to look into more because drummers sometimes is too fucking shit, and it gives you so much more headache when they are. But and I guess like in Dimmy Borgir albums, it's pretty much all triggered, uh, like played on the drum kit with trigger mics and MIDI. So but it's not something that I do frequently,
well,
but
cool.
I will.
Two more questions dropped in. How do you feel about knocking those out real quick, or do you want to call it here?
Ah, it's cool.
All right, awesome. You see that, guys? That's service. Service. Let's see. Robin's asking again. I know Bo, last month, when we had Seosin, he uses three parallel compressions when he's doing stuff. What are your thoughts in regards to parallel comp?
I like it. I don't really use it on much more than the drum kit. Like I use it on the snare drum, kick drum, and the toms most of the times. Compresses them, but yeah, I don't really use it for the guitars or bass or vocals either. So just for the drums, but I like parallel comps.
Big fan ourselves. Let's see here. All right, so this is going to be our last question for the day. Thanks a lot for coming on. I'm the replacement AL because AL is busy. I brought my beard and everything. Um,
Thank you,
so,
man.
so Michael's asking, how did you
It's
make the vocal
beautiful.
stutters thing? I appreciate it.
Yeah. How do you make the vocal stutter? Okay, that's the question. It's with a tornado plugin, I think. Yeah. Or Tornado, it's called. Is it Effectrix that does it? Not sure.
Yeah, I've never heard
That's
of that plugin
uh,
myself. If anyone
it's
knows,
pretty cool. Like you can go really wild with it. But yeah, that's it.
cool. Thanks a lot, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sitting down with us for the last hour. Al couldn't be here, so we got someone with that sort of looks like him. Maybe he's my dad. Maybe he's not. You never know. Anyway, guys, enjoy. Thanks for being in with us, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Uh,
Bye bye.
Later,
See you.
everybody.